What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, talk on why it's selling off as much as it is, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 6.6% and 14.52 million shares being traded. 24.76 is the average. At the time of doing this video, no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing like that. So it is rather quiet coming out from Lucid the day before their upcoming Q3 earnings. But if you look at a lot of articles that have been coming out, everyone and their dog seems to be attributing today's sell-off to the news that came out the tail end of last week about Lucid offering a discount up until the end of November. And a lot of articles are saying that this is more of a precursor for a big demand issue. So this is something that hopefully 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 itself does address during the upcoming earnings, which is again tomorrow. On a side note, I'm going to be live streaming that, so make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. But in case you do not know, the 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 is going to be knocked down to 74.9, so about $7,500 off. And similarly, the 𝗪𝗓 Touring, another $7,500 off, and then the 𝗪𝗓 Grand Touring, which basically from the get-go has never had much demand in general, 10,000 is going to be knocked off for that. So in reality, I think a lot of the authors of these articles have not seen the broader market and how it is selling off. As you can kind of see, a lot of my watch list is very red today. And when it comes down to it, a lot of growth stocks and EV stocks rallied fairly significantly at the tail end of last week. Not necessarily that justified. So when it comes down to it, today is just simply a consolidation day. Technicals didn't justify last week's rally. So this is why it's pulling back despite what a lot of analysts and articles are saying. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I just wanted to share this with you. So this is something hopefully Lucid itself does bring up during their Q3 earnings, because under Aston Martin's Q3 earnings, it did signal that they are going to be making a payment of $33 million to Lucid, and that is going to be part of their strategic supply arrangement, which was announced on June the 26th, 2023. Posted by Sultan on Twitter, so shout out to him. But when it comes down to it, it was supposed to be 450. So I don't know if that 33 million is just one of many installments. They haven't really announced that. So we'll have to wait and see once again during the upcoming earnings just to see the breakdown of that, or what they say, or whether they cut it from 450 down to 33 million, which would be kind of detrimental. This would be a very good question posed to management, but unfortunately it is running out of time. So these are the questions that retail is posing to management. Deadline for any questions is November the 6th, 2023, 4:30 p.m. Central. So when it comes down to that has changed, because I know in the past it's been basically midnight that you've been able to pose any questions, but whatever. Beside the point, I don't think any real hot questions have really arisen. So it's basically the same 3 to 5 questions since this actually opened, I believe, on the 24th. So the hot questions, or I guess hot topics retail wants to know is, what is Lucid doing to stop or slow the downtrend of the stock price? And B, what are you doing operationally? So that's kind of a good summary of everything. I hate to say it, there's a lot of these questions that 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 itself will not be able to answer, such as this: what is the plan for Lucid to expand their operations? Lucid will be able to talk on that, but unfortunately we'll be unable to really answer this, because they are probably not even able to give guidance for 2024 for production numbers, let alone profitability, which, in my opinion, not a financial advisor, I feel like profitability potentially could be maybe 2027. That's just my own estimate, of course, especially given the trajectory that they have been on. They really need to ramp up production by like 5x at least, underline at least, probably significantly more, maybe 10x. So once again, definitely something interesting to look forward to going into tomorrow's earnings. The latest round of 13Fs, oddly enough, show a lot of institutions have been increasing during Q3. So kind of a surprise when it comes down to that. A lot of other growth stocks had a lot of institutions dumping a lot of their position. The bigger names still have not disclosed their 13F. So BlackRock, Vanguard is going to be the tail end of this week, I do believe. If not, midweek as well. So that's something just to kind of sit tight and wait. Options activity. So I'll give you an overview of that. So currently $518,000 in calls being purchased versus $504,000 in puts. So a little bit more evenly divided when it comes down to that. Looking under some of the specifics. So this is the calls, looking at the open interest. for November the 10th expiry date, so that's going to encumber their earnings, people are anticipating for it to be oddly above $5. So kind of optimistic when it comes to that. Looking at puts, a lot of people anticipate it's going to be sub $4. So like I've signaled, technicals, that is kind of in line with that and matching with that. So let's talk on technicals for a second. So right now it is at $4.27. So as it stands, it is between this S1 and the pivot. So $3.94 is, and so far has held up. So that's the very strong support. Vice versa, $4.59, which it did break below today, is going to be the next strong resistance. So I do feel that based on the conditions right now, a lot of people are anticipating negative earnings. So once again, that's something just to kind of consider. I have reviewed a lot of analysts to see what they've been doing, and there has been no changes since my last update. So still negative 35 cents for the actual earnings per share. That's based on, I believe, 8 analysts, and vice versa. Just looking over here for the revenue, it looks like there's around 8 analysts with consensus of 183.84 million. So still rather low, and most likely that was lowered because of the lower amount of deliveries and production and so forth. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid's upcoming earnings. Do you think it is going to be positive? Do you think it's going to be negative? What is your viewpoint on that? I actually did do a poll as well on Twitter, only about 355 votes, and it looks like it did close as well. But what will Lucid's Q3 earnings be? And surprisingly, it's actually kind of level. So I would have assumed that there'd be a lot more bearishness, but 49% of the individuals that did vote think it's going to be bullish, and around 50 or 51% think it's going to be bearish. So what are you? Are you bullish, bearish? What's your take on all of that? A couple of things I just wanted to share with you as well, still in line with technicals. It did bounce off of that central Bollinger Band, so not enough to actually transition higher. And as it stands, number of retail investors are getting out today. Stochastic, still a little bit more of a bullish sentiment, so black line above the red, but it is considered kind of neutral at 31. So once again, going into the upcoming earnings, like the technicals aren't necessarily the best. But I'll give you an overview of what shorts are doing just to have a good benchmark. So shorts are currently increasing 1.61 million shares. 25.64% of the free float is being shorted. 225.48 million shares overall are being shorted. And cost to borrow average is 14.8%. So the way I interpret this information, the fact that they are increasing on a red day, very red day, feels like it's justified, and that most likely it is going to continue to trend down. So far, just to summarize, the actual short information is bearish. Looking on the technicals, bearish, and the options activity kind of neutral, if not based on, if you look at the specifics, it is bearish. So not necessarily the best, most optimistic viewpoint going into their upcoming earnings. So hopefully it's not a massacre when it comes down to that, because if it does break below this point right here, this $3.94, it could potentially go down to $3.50. And I have done videos saying that I do feel that realistically it can go down to $3.50, and that might be the low this time around. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, even though Lucid goes up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of some kick-ass promos, and that is with Moomoo. So sign up for an account, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, plus you get 1 free share of SoFi, and any cash that you do have in this account, you earn 5.1% APY. So just for $100, you get 6 stocks, and you also earn 5.1%. So kind of a win-win. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.